pia fashion na je e ma de esa bebem no say wo mo be wi training kwata kra no wo mo tete pitch no so e ma yan ketenkete e ma de attacker say be reduced size purchase no na say de mo share tight corner say na mo be si abobo passes na ji e be opponent na from na fe mo so ma carry board ya ko sane ma no nyina no wo mo focus enwa na demensen kan sa president no yeso share boys na enwa ma en ayen sam na meeting and some across annual this time and your president mum na kan you say boys no and a catch your president say opani ye come back ye players abaya come back into Sankabia on a normal day president ne kwa nanko no wakasa no asha boys in crane ya janamom jaminya no said this time no aye players no mom and a catch up and say wo mo som da come back with your own kind of come around 20 yam aye say omania prepare reporter memen say kan nyina no and some other say encouragement e buy e mo no some supporting kwada na wonsem no ye de ema ye te for enano pay and some our sure so na ye say central for more omo Spain so de nie wo mo take and some and say and Real Madrid, result na cross for Arsenal no na aye terrible no mum wom tiri e ba say result na 3-0 de na nya kra na amon so na nyo nyese bia Real Madrid bobo bi na wom lose 3-0 to 1 a result score line 3-0 no ana 2 and some aye performance wom some da na dintina wom tiri e pass awasani ma pi awo hono ma Real Madrid SSA ansana wom start ya dwen come back and wona hade yeso wom tiri e ba Arsenal bobo ko no womunye team bia baka se bia asem omodon bone down so bi a chesa se Arsenal no aye team bia ahodin bi ewom anasempo ase omobetimi aya desurunku bia ma ene de omokan nyina no ensom ene se womutiri pass Arsenal boboku no enye chese enye well versed a chese otum se experience enhirani hosa na experience ensom enhirani hosa na se bia mo ankasa kwa no de taka se bia mumbo mo hunche gidigidi sadia ani asamonom sa dejana shase ewo Benebewa moba mo ba usuo start say jiagu ewo Benebewa ebe jiagu pa anti yesi no ana Real Madrid bobo ko do mani ensom ari atoso ameno kase no wo mtiri ba se come back so ya dia eno som abeya adwuma mama manager fan say Ruben Amorim omobo aye Newcastle omo game an abaso no manager no som akasai na when we say Premier League na one matches I was about 11:30 Man City about Crystal Palace, Leicester away to Brighton, Nottingham Forest away to Everton, Southampton and Aston Villa, Arsenal about Brentford, nyame almochna aye Chelsea, Ipswich, Liverpool and some and West Ham, Wolves about Tottenham, after Newcastle of here and Manchester game ayotna Sunday na manager no ana yebisa samu preparation sign and a city yentie coach I fan Ruben Amorim.
Sometimes winning games is the best way of preparing the next one. Of course, I'm going to be careful with some players, but again, we need to be competitive. And when you are playing for Manchester United, you cannot go to the game thinking in the next one. So we are going to face this one, and then we'll have 3 days. We are going to prepare the game more in the way without a lot of run, a lot of training. It's just recovering, and then we will be fine on Thursday with our fans. But we need to face Newcastle in a way that we can win the game.
Ben Amorim and Renomum, woman Bizarre, where preparation on Newcastle game say an full set Newcastle as I cider. Woman pose the threat at Manchester United. Yentie, my coach Ruben Amorim.
Of Newcastle and the threats that they pose in particular.
Everything. They have top players, really good on set pieces, the physicality, the way they run and recover when they are beaten in the first pressure. So they are a team that play together for a while. So they won a title that was really emotional for everybody. You can see it during that week. But again, we have to think in our team the way we want to play this kind of games, and we are being more consistent in the way we play the game, so we'll try to do the same.
What do you make of Newcastle and the threats that they pose in particular?
Panasa Ruben Amaruma Swede Bawonim sir from now no ya wata Benwa Nipa Bakwan again and some more trying by a goalkeeper Andre Onana onim sir Yadi Kadi Abatuan Dada Okasma Bay stories Akem Amama Katros many Janakwan on G goalkeeper na Yefano Onana and Dintina Yese one shot bet on Betimiat a drop Anyami Armotana one Newcastle game Ebas Awesome Genesis Park Ono one shot Altal Bindir Ono and about that I post Mama Maynamo Manchester so trying to drop a crana Nyami my next week Thursday return leg game no Onana Abasa regaining the position I will post Munafe one of some Adam Adiama Manchester Boko no and so I updated a man for say Rasmus Højlund omu demande 60 million euros Udru Italia yes you know I just omu buying mono die Manchester for Coty onsa Juvenum Apeno yes omu buy Manchester for so buying value and some 60 million and Akwadana you find Gonzalo Inacio on in the Yajuma and some other sporting sipono many janin the pa and also Manchester for near bra one must somebody Akwadana and Eba now Man City Bobo Kono the Mensakas Andra Cambiaso our Juve one fullback no na Makacho say Akwadana fan say in Omabium and here Kyle Walker Omabium Andra Cambiaso Pep Ekwanimo January and ye and then almost some person Cambiaso Akwadano one fan in Yami Adama Samanimo and Manchester Andra Cambiaso no and some Eba near some manager fan say Pep Guardiola say and then I top 5 now until the pass I didn't tell some better room and also the spirit now spirit no saba back no busa say brabai and also the man almost spirit I took off from throughout the season you know many times omunya many injuries not to say no more injuries at doso pana player banner team biano so injury situation at doso uya wine unya results I will pay and no and they do omunya no this time there what did you about spirit you know and some back at top 5 Man City be normal qualify for Champions League
is back. In some games, in moments was good. United no, but the Manchester spirit is there. What sustain us, the chance is the spirit. The way the game we play, maybe we'll struggle, but the way the spirit has to be there, and we learn. We saw with incredible curiosity this Tuesday, Wednesday Champions League games, and I know the rhythm and I know the spirit that they play, and this is what you have to do. I said many times there are a lot of reasons, but the main reason we didn't have players. We have a lot of inches, and without that is impossible. Put in any sport collectively, but the important players in basketball and wherever the important players don't play are not the same. We cannot be the same, and we cannot rotate. They cannot compete each other.
Fanasa Pep, and I'll tell say, ya tell excepts Mantiano and no Mikel Arteta Diano. Asembia Mibusa Mikel answer them about so call him say, yes, Bernardo Silva consider say, we'll go back to the former team. I have Benfica. If Benfica on the same coin into the Messiah Somia, ever so return to Benfica. Yes, some Comono crash, as some Comono do Portugal. Domo can answer Drew the highest level. I'm a side level of my drink, and some aqua drew, I don't know, and for now, yes. Back to Benfica. I didn't want Jay. I didn't want Yaya. When you be Akwadai, and some other to me, Akoba Cafe, Arsenal, a coach and Emra, Mekatro said a pre-match questions on Obus and NBA, Diamekan Emra, one of Musa Marijanina. Yabusan say, answer, you send Class Jova, Iron and say, Katra, declare rights, I say, cross the ball, Anna declare say, Saka, Ekachan say, if you feel, so bet me, and you go for it, and we'll call ball, bente, ball, massa, Kela, pa, F. Madrid, human war, no, and some educator net anymore. Now, you be coach, and say, more instruction, Emma players, maybe your competitors, yes, see your way, no one yet. No, I be full for about way, so this is also Paba. Then I know, Yentia Mikel Arteta.
I think you are more likely to experience them. I mean, they have to make the decision. We are here to help them to try to paint the picture of what the options are. But I loved it. I think when we talk about making the next step is a lot about that. It's about taking initiative, making things happen on the pitch, and believing that you can actually win the game by yourself sometimes. And I was really impressed the way he did it. And you have to do something that is not in the books. We always talk about that. It's like the energy that we create in the stadium. That's a magic moment. You know, it felt like the crowd was taking that ball and put it into the net. It was something special that night from the beginning. And when you're able to create those moments, I think you are more likely to experience the situation that we had a few days ago. Yeah, I mean, they have to make the decision. We
are free manager fan say Mikel Arteta so the Bernardo pay life and so I was sure so my man fan to him say Nottingham and some more boy be on so in born but perfano Morgan Gibbs White and you know Morgan yes Nottingham for say some Manchester Coy I'm other clubs to Coy Nottingham for oh I £100 million 100 nanyina man for to wana uni bola akoda we body mabo ko a ye fere say Nottingham Forest na sabi oban we so sia shade number 10 ahanti Morgan Gibbs White no wo say the bro aye £100 million and some update from Australia ba so some nyina no ye de ema ye te for na no pay and some I was sure so and some Maresca we can say first round Chelsea kwawe ekoluzu game edema Ipswich ya hey na amo ball return like that ana yebisa ko nyame armo tleria ana yebisa coach no so panina se na mokom e osama atwemu yentie coach no.
That day probably they had more desire than us to get the 3 points. I still remember the game, you know, but even if we had many chances to score, but they were defending very well. And now it's again it's a good team, to be honest. I know them from last year, so they are a very good team, good manager. They are doing very good job. Premier League is for sure different, but they are doing well, and hopefully we can do our best to win the game. I think in that day probably they had more desire than us to get the 3 points. I still remember the game, you know, but even if we had many chances to score, but they were defending very well. And now it's again it's a good team, to be honest. I know them from last year, so they are a very good team, good manager. They are doing very good job. Premier League is for sure different, but they are doing well, and hopefully we can do our best to win the game. I think in that day probably they had more desire than us to get the 3 points. I still remember the game, you know, but even if we had many chances to score, but they were defending very well. And now it's again it's a good team, to be honest. I know them from last year, so they are a very good team, good manager. They are doing very good job.
I have 48,621 tickets and a wrestling empire for WWE WrestleMania night 1 and a night 2 and some I have 51,044 tickets. Now more TDS and Drew next week be at an chance to take it in the crowd or mato ama asa nice I sold out and celebrate sold out our Legion Stadium no a funny past 60,000 and a 48,621 a car crabby 51,044 for night 2 akaka krabi night 1 no wonu se ma bobo so the amount that I mean can say main event no night 1 yes Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk I know aye main event and night 2 main event aye Cody Rhodes and John Cena I know aye said the main event night 2 and so ebesi akwa no I want some so no na Steve o ya de
bi waya Bibia Bokonyame Adom Bibia Sheye pa.
Okay. New. Yeah. Now Bibia fine.
Very calm. Very calm.
Meza.
Wazi.
I don't know how to say.
It's you said drip no.
I don't know how to say.
Say yeah, me and you tin ave hero. What gen space come on na.
No we see couple so. What the baha me no nyina. Peja bread no. What the baha me no be see any fa.
Na ye homeda, but na ye homeda ma.
Yo. O catch couple so akwaji yi no akwaji yi. Ke couple ne jina kono no. Oni nyina. O so ba bo na tan say kwaw. O bo hey, bass. Maza one bass na no pay the mom na. We am crash shere. Mo nyina ye. Anti
Asem cry osre.
Batazana.
Is he the pala? We saw story we interest you pa.
Say.
Like
Argentina.
I don't know what failure yala.
Como ya se o.
We do so good ya.
Osia ilele you know.
Hey, Batasa Rodriguez. Anyway, I'm going to come into a pair of Rodriguez.
I say we need DJ Sinechi. You cry your story no.
Sadin who here Rodriguez no.
But one fan say.
Sadin who here no.
Me na person me who just.
Batasal who here.
Oh, Batasal pa.
Wow, new movie on crazy.
Yo. And then Saturday, some of the tough games in the Basso, but check La Liga games and Premiership games in the Basso. Yako M say Obiano baby placing importance on those games on the two. For instance, Real Madrid game no, all both game now original opponent in Hunina, not original opponent on the midweek home. You also talking about Arsenal game or ball this particular weekend. All both you know, then need at Spain according to Obitu. But it said you prepare for Champions League and domestic leagues in one. You are preparation. It drew some stage. For instance, there's no way somebody can convince me say Arsenal, Madrid, Barcelona, them clubs in no year preparation ahead of this weekend. I'm on midweek games and matters so much. Until you come back, I'm so much interested in but before some start PG and come out or the year was story no. But Kola said before by signing the contract, and I just was train kakra and sign out the necessary people and so aside because of the presence of Varselia. Yeah, in building a very formidable team, we a coach, we a club administrator, a yet day out never tia will be so. A yet day out be from will be. A yet day out be sacrifice will be. They maximize the potential. So let's talk about a conversation where the existence of Raselia and Paris in Naples, a Kabakola no the right wing side of PSG attack no Bradley Bakola. Now see how no I for other members of the attack. But because Raselia signed them PSG ninti or no ball and sign a story Bakola and Yabiabo or me and Baba just about a ball or different position. The community say a junior Johnny no end up the same position but Bakola is so and Sana Bakoba being a champion with Napoli no I'm a Varselia and more you do power. But in terms of potential quantity, a bad day say you power your ball with me who quantity of talent to cram Messi. This or the year Juma and San with me because we only Bobo see we. But so me now what they want to me and quantify their talent. In that perspective, a Juma of Varselia I hear Diamond Napoli now. Building a very solid partnership with Victor Osimhen. Now I want in 30 years Napoli be champion or bow club moi. Me Semenia Kumane Bakola Kametima Kachane say you need to respect Varselia and be a second fiddle to him. Now when you continue do border Varselia to bench, you play under even an intense pressure.
Yeah.
You play under a lot of intense pressure. And besides, Bakola bet me a catch PSG for say Madrid and Madrid and PSG co Champions League final. Now Varselia not to bench, no Bakola no bet me a bobona. So on the face of it, a favor Varselia power because of the achievement. But yo, the young boy also needs to have his time. Ubibusa say enka Messi ya sacrifice Ibrahimovic mo number 9 no name Henry Modian fan manoa David Villa mo enka 2012 Messi nya 91 goals no enka bede aba. So yo, PSG for as much as they chase eminent sources, they should always think about a project for future. Bakola ne Varselia but they're very tough at this moment. I mean, I'll be choosing the senior player. Yeah, away from that, as a flake, I story back, but El Periodico, I story back, also so catch the near TF4 said Brazilian FNO I contacted the video Busan and said, oh now bail papa. Now oh shit you suit then stay Madrid or bet me about Brazilian Federation and answer when buy. It's a double sword. Second we try so see baby Ancelotti jini met me akasa wa jija but Brazilian national team no be Ancelotti CV one huge. But how about Brazil getting Ancelotti at this moment of their history? Brazil and America they've fallen down in terms of player production, they've fallen down in terms of coaches production. Brazil are nowhere to be found. So getting Ancelotti it's huge for Brazil. I mean Deriva Junior and Tipeni Ancelotti has he even won anything before? But don't they do Brazil anymore? It is huge for Brazil. It's a good marriage It is also good for Ancelotti. Na Madrid they wow now ko to amena Brazil amena dia seka ya nkomo de. But the problem is say yeah Ancelotti o gina ha dia. The major problem ya kwan obefa so be na ko Arsenal out.
Yes.
Ancelotti AC waje Madrid why say right now a boot for boot between Mikel Arteta and then Carlo Ancelotti because Arteta na bre papa ever since about yenina deny more. But at some point he's done some marvelous job getting 3 goals in addition to the clean sheet. 101.3 crying best so and Ancelotti better no. O story away no catch say Madrid the for the results on the helm. But the game no more than one performance now Korea for Madrid and the beliefs are collectively more dysfunctional. You see bro no. As I come boom as a team with the ethics and the ethos of game no and show and for Madrid for no. But the beliefs say they have 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals beer. Omo kasi any omo win bibi. Yo 11 players na yana coaches omo selected. No nyina na bobo no. 11 players no Nyankopon ye wadom na ohyirawa ena betime nyam emu be 7 omadwini mu da ho ombibia omo maka nyina ya support enkrofo bi na ye adwuma no enu tile da bi edi football ho koma we talk about the spine or the core meaning say egumpo a sese kan krofo be 4 bi wo team no be si omo so usually if you are checking how teams are built and 11 players in the professional Nyankopon shira Pep Guardiola na konya ne Barcelona no a and kwa Victor Vades etosini anameboa o de yi in a dominant side o pe goalkeeper bia na ka be fama no ya na Casillas and na be si Pep de no so na ka nya Victor Vades unya all 11 players. So Ancelotti how is he turning things up and sana wa Brazil ejuma no but in my opinion yaw kunju they in the top was what you born on man and Ancelotti what you do as well. Now there are bigger problems, bigger cracks or Madrid team. A bad day, one man Mbappe abo I'm gonna favor Vinicius. And now no world best Vinicius no and Bowman in favor Mbappe. And come on Ancelotti be there diamana ye. One wants to win the individual award as well as the Champions League. And now one day only the Champions League ni bi akwa FIFA best FIFA best.
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or no dey siso and say because Saudi how do you marry these two guys? 101.3. And come tell me once say omo body aya Vinicius and Mbappe defense be na ka stop omo. 2 players we then how they stop omo. And then how they stop Mbappe omo tu omo ho ase. E di omo tum say omo boss the MNS na soro ye no. Say the BBC na soro ye no. When I can stop these two?
Say obi supporting Yonko.
Yonko ba ko tehwe na ba ko so mu. Mbappe, I mean, okay, World Cup France. Do I know my France now? And Vinicius no Madrid na fana wie. They only need that chemistry and the support. But chemistry ne so support no here one existent.
Tisanka between Benzema and Vinicius omo partnership.
Partnership Ronaldo ne Bale call Benzema ne quick. I don't know about can you smooth na even check. Benzema ne cry no ne Mbappe when they speed. When a case or tete or better pa Benzema they said naturally American in the game no be about Mbappe or case what tune for more how even 2018 I don't the year Otamendi mu Mascherano mu waka final almost so ni kam no do mo nam from no do mo ko o ka makoro ne record no you see Mbappe is a force but ohia partner no onya bi Monaco onya partner PSG onya partner France partner onya was Olivier Giroud. It was an auxiliary role and not Giroud, but me should be there. It wasn't the case. At Real Madrid, I said Vinicius for me. It hasn't worked. It's a problem in my and San Madrid defensive problem now. So David in common, I can't share Brazilian Federation say, ni papa baba, but he has to, set up a Madrid in a way. So when to me and the Champions League, crowd one. Ombeshana ka say now Carlo wo ye adwuma who deserve say be ma 1 year na be ja kwa fefefe but say o ma Arsenal yini free mu say kim say de nyina ye ni ebusa 3 goals ya Arsenal ntimi ntwese ano a Ancelotti ne exit no enye fe bebre sa Manchester United ne amore me very careful
de me hu no kra ne say manager Mourinho betimi akwa changes against Newcastle because na tension be what the Europa on say the record with Europa and say Omunkwana be the only club this season all combining the Champions League and the Europa lose game omoda so you unbeaten so be say the entrance match no more because already Newcastle beat me how I was telling you dada
I say o game ni domestic but what mu die you know say we
no way dey because training at Real Madrid for year me be enu achide yede be enu ana enu anwumetri ne yede mo man pay no there is nowhere Madrid ebeka so the kwakọ La Liga game
Alaves akomaya de la we say koko out Madrid the ball Alaves draw cry and fan
I come back on draw
Alaves game no so more the attention in the throughout the week
which might also be a problem big
for La Liga
for Real Madrid na nkasa as a club
make sure somebody for be consider say the pace at which Barca for there is no way
4 points Ogu League Musisi
yeah
no on the first team
because there is no way Barca will be losing game
and Carlo Ancelotti ED na no them
tricky
no a big club like Real Madrid maybe I would do you know Real Madrid stages no drew in their football history no a dream may be any so almost sacrifice trophies be easily
Samu
yes 4 points also my sacrifice league
but it's all about priorities. I mean the squad as against the injury situation so I remember
Madrid
want to redeem
Madrid who the league and the Champions League see wa be the Champions League
if you draw or lose against Alaves look at the noise until Tuesday as a Wednesday you should there and look at this rattle itself back we no e ka patim like Alaves
but Alaves game no Brahim Diaz na that goulash mbet me aboy nya win
Hendrik what the boy nya Hendrik na that goulash mu bogo sugu
tina make sure say training no mo ye no na no Wednesday
Sebayo scrabber so match we bit my Sebayo scrabber first
have you
match or the
critically followed La Liga sa Osasuna Betis mo ko fa Hendrik na san kro ba o mejojo mo that is unless I follow La Liga not critically na no permini akomia na civil din come say
Las Palmas never stretch
those clubs no you don't underrate them osheni na maybe akomia results meet me abam amko fan kete na Madrid bet me for draw amko for draw now what happens next henceforth you know and the baby be the noise after draw no the confidence it gives to Arsenal okay what's the guarantee say 90 minutes no ko Arsenal shifukum what the rest will be La Liga crowd all of us in 3 points in each what is the guarantee say a party Arsenal
remontada
why you underrating Arsenal so much you see I mean why are you underrating Arsenal
because of recent comebacks I'm married for now intina mada me fan say that noise in you now
how about their squad in depth as Steve O'Reilly said
yes
how about your squad obo Rudiger on say the Asteris at home obo Alaba the Asteris at home o call right back or the Asteris back akoto how about that Madrid ni Ancelotti wo o so ya no afa kwan bi so a na dia ma wa ba kese but because generations generations nti to de be kwan ya fa so no wa hwe na hunhunu and into to be din comot because institutional memory is important because of consistency and continuity. So me share game di for Manchester United because game transfer game in America what they do. Does that reflect who the club Manchester has been over the course of time, or it's something coined out of coach no? Ten Hag signings I'll be happy. Ten Hag the whine buy, but how important are those players? Do they fall in the identity and the criteria of Manchester United, or they fell in the ideology of Ten Hag as a coach? So after an exit, are those players still premium or important to the club?
Because now hierarchy na structure say be a sporting director to say Pepe dia no to say we kwa the next manager no cry ba say ne kono
he forced in that tangent
that's him for no person omo ye no afei na Man U bi say you was sporting director you was saying to say the Ten Hag the buy now we am remember to who say after Ten Hag na ma moye safi o ma berada mo ne we mu nyina na ba afei no ma be the sporting structure nkasa
the structure issues no newton mame kebika krawa na no minya an extensive conversation with also papa Fran Nemo de Omuko City United they are very close to the teams uti papa Fran asema City ewo animu bebre in terms of organizational structure and understanding football how we operate it to a certain extent to say ɔse sɛ Man City ɛɛpɛ akodaa no wɔ school a akodaa no ɔpɔ school a baa skɔfa no de ne ba ɔba a ɔwɔ locker ɔwɔ biribiara te sɛ deɛ senior player ɛwɔ ne deɛ a yɛ treaty no na owia a ɔkɔyɛ ne training wia ɔmapɛ baabi a ɔbɛbɔ ne PS5 wɔ playgrounds ɔbɛdi ansa na ɔmo yɛ ɔmo asa apɛ teacher ama no
classes
I'm actually they've gone beyond that to a certain extent. Say omo pa akoda omo timi ma senior player within the team be say be Kevin De Bruyne
akwa school
and obi video school and a video call not their ball because they are trying to pick every single young talent now in Manchester akwa ketu awese subia person obo Manchester City Academy
true
due to whatever that they have over there it say Jim Ratcliffe Befa United no say there be as a City for no I take control we are cake ya catchy ye fan say ye din ye didi ho ana tete line na ye kwa akora no beba abra o ma die ye ba na do be fa Old Trafford no but City have taken the thing to a different level to a certain extent so mo the youth team no kura team ko triple Dubai Germany Holland ekobo games de nkola ne ba but United they free England won ko ba bia ne ko ba bia tena
o cut cost
o si fa akon it Jim Ratcliffe ba na no say there be ma me ko fa o ma bareda only just wo cost because City resurgence ni bibi o mo ye ne structures bia na o mo mienu di mu ntintimai it whatever City did yemo mo somra na de mo ye bia no mo fa plan be dey embeto it na United has become ruthless madwin be mo so mo fa supporters so but that is how City came about at the same time the structures now City do operate from top to down academy ni san your money nyina to sporting director ni nyina recruitment said in United are picky be. But I'm very careful with the appointment because also munya budget to get the right people.
Okay.
The entire muja Dan Ashworth kwani because of that.
Only
because the Adena Omar Bayada agency wo cosmo a totally different from what the EPP now Dan Ashworth. England for the SARS here no elite player performance plan strategy no mo England under 17 under 18 more than the do so no we away from it and line it two different ideas all together. And I cite one example we mama of one player be on me no panel. And he showed me video clear. I'm a dialogue no mama na video catch akra and say akra no Emra United no ba the club one ni bia and now papa Fran na nkasa ni nua panyin ne ba sign Man City. Yeah, announcement was stadium.
Yes. Oh, sir, Manchester saying time na bia over TV feed ebe ya mo ahwene sa ne man more na time
so the gap is huge
but mo ko stadium an kasa antem ne de enuma p before the game
it is here open whatever United wants to do Newton
I'm not really surprised anymore
it is all United person follow BBS here now the clear pathway United are following is what Manchester City
na ebane say na Morgan Rogers from the same City Academy
Nakopia Villa
no Sancho mo fell Foden mom and these players
Amaya
City 1% no business that I City fan ni nyina from pro academy
dana na me ka kire ne say papa City 115 charges mo fan to
so yeah me busa me ho say Mosimo pe Gonzalo Inacio dey we mu ni nyina no coach no na se me pe we because me na yadwuma pen you adi o chene. That has been football. We have been studying this. Coaches are cover players aba. The players fell in the ideology of the coach that brought them. The coach has been let go of the job. Now players in a country. Sanka club no was structured be the cover player by that same structure will bring in a manager or be bet me use player. I'm telling you this. It's a Pep a German City Hokwa. They will follow in the same direction. Akwa cover manager or a patient builder. About expansive football. On try say obe defend it with blocks, but defend it with pressing. Obe for a manager who understands the core, how midfielders are important to every game because they bridge the defense to attack. They will bring in a manager or Sassuolo developmental culture for Foden Messi. Also, one link player development at the elite level still they be big game no home. First of all, you promoted because we are so senior team. But at the senior level, yes, also the beautiful for our account game no. And Pep falls in that category of coaches. And they will judge one more. The Etihad for no name or more football academy. They will appoint a coach of folly or aligning with the club's culture. And maybe someone said, Ten Hag kofa wan na baye oso pe Miss Mount on na adwuma pen mo kofa nemra no sa kofa I ask from clan bi mo sa kofa emra we so pe Gonzalo Inacio me na adwuma pen me pe Jokeres me na adwuma pen omo no ma adwuma na Manchester no ma adwuma pen the club has its own policy it has to sync with the also GD.
Yeah.
So that we go together. Now, you jack on one of the players in the day. I want to mean more. So Manchester United should be very careful. Me maka yaw. O tiashe no enye hu. Na o person was a ball mu bi emejuro ba bia na wo no. I think the games in the yeah now the Corey 20 must go ne. 101.3. Let's say anyo mu dey slice games.
That's a power. Oh, meza. And a break.
O can players don't answer one story pe. Liam Delap. The reason why I just
striker no.
The reason why Jason Walkers, the link no Joe Schultz, Eddie Maresca, City. Maresca, assistant manager, City at some point in time, academy. Joe Schultz, no yeah, Juma way, Manchester City. Then Jason Walkers, Manchester City. Omar Barreda, Manchester City. Chelsea, any United, and they so much enthused about Liam Delap. It may be a link in but I have a lot of questions when it comes to this player and what he can also do. Because Ocheke in terms of the Premier League, where one of the strikers are more performing or more XG. He has outperformed the expected goals also with Timisha. Meaning the productivity no I was so. What the total level now the team in the war. And what you expect from him. Another thing about him is no single striker in the Premier League and a carry ball no as an attacker than him. Otimifa ball be 7.3 meters, 10 point meters. Wait, no, the more giddy.
A play striker.
A good quality, but at the end say so on the screen, the angles of picking ball and the meters or the ball running new. Graph here that's it means he runs a lot with the ball and to different channels. But me issue ni na say now Uber City Uber United so be boy only team be boy United no and you no be ball defense no counter attack am nya ball we dey through me ka United ni obi boy team ni what 10 men behind the ball, team ni what 8 men behind the ball. Say Chelsea boy Chelsea would the opponent no on the ball no 8 men behind the ball or more 10 men behind the ball, meaning say Chelsea is always the attacking team and the possessive team. United is always the attacking team and the possessive team. Now look, United can check a top 5 average possession in the Premier League. United also bear 4 to the fit, and I was surprised. Say we more they be a home with the be I said table ball, but you need strikers. Say all team no control possession or move make a huge difference for you. Delap knows our quality now because Ipswich is different.
And make sure say
Ipswich sitting back.
Make sure
no counter attack
because it be a very dependent approach. Coach every game. Say be a consider possession of opponent in the one are top, but a basse almost kita baso or drop Bobby.
Niti kase bi.
The akumenya kana ma meti ne graph no de ba na see shot aside ba na kama hwe. O shot ne ball carries na from deep to the final third but box na nkasa mu no oni ho.
Asem no. David.
Oh no. She 18
so it means say so o kan ho momo.
Now akumenya is trying to make a point say if he is in a team where ball carriers or bring the ball there, okay, it will allow him to stay.
Yes, or better more goals.
Yes. And
I'm saying they must make
Asem Newton is making a solid point. But the question that Bibu I've not seen him play in a team where Eddie Abako Fanaba, we bet my hit.
Or stay in the box, I'm on the Abba.
We bet my hit.
Yeah, it's
we bet my hit or miss.
Then you can Juma crab a fool. Say on the team to say be a young fan saying Ellen Haaland and the Gina City anymore. Say City are so this season. Thank you, Liam Delapa.
Maybe the lap move, no, the lap bear Tottenham be Ebebuana.
Very big globe.
Are you sure?
For now, yes. Because he needs teams like Tottenham now. Okojina penalty box no goals now macro be current me na temo man pressure. Okay. But Chelsea no.
I told you.
Okojina penalty box now bona ye ball 1 2 3 games now go Maya. Hey, massa. Na heard you mo dey Rasmus Island.
And Jackson.
No Jack press was so be say.
Game center so come do at mama what
but you see I don't know the model of Manchester City per what I know near say. The senior team ni bono sana junior teams ni nyina abo. They don't change it. The pattern, everything they do no. City nye concerned about say enkore bobo a mo she goals do say they don't care. City wants to see a clear identity. City, the entire say ano so amanfo nkoda bebre no so person betimi aso chaba United ni say City no ye stylish player na akọ nkoda di mu a ye ma wo mbo ni mfili said your pay. Jabe mo pass ball no ayo rules but United no eso sa nyoma no so obetwetwe we say but City they don't do that in their own prema. Iti ena be mama hunu se bia the lap no so free City ho na dey eba one way or the other whatever City were doing there maybe had been adjusted to such kind of style of play I betimi aboa na metimi eba be play on top. But all relegation, I'm not for soon said this is a market opportunity. By the lap signing party, all sign out sign top number 9 account. And United can't do that because of Rasmus Højlund. Sasu was exio. And United need one top striker pair. And then the better Madrid could see whatever Victor Osimhen is also doing in the Turkish league. You see, Victor Osimhen know how many goals for Turkish league? 21 league goals. And no, your goals be an all. We're proving what the Syria are. We're proving what the French league are. Or proving what Turkey. We're proving what the Champions League stages games. But there's something also about Osimhen. Let me say teams need Johnny.
Tikano.
Who is Karaton? Osimhen might be problematic. Kakra. She Nigeria game Momoko boy ebia. Nancy World Cup qualifier ebia. Zimbabwe. Where do you know behave? It will be an draining this and your man.
Oh, free muno.
No. So, mami ka se mencho. So what study players no mo free Africa na. Enya African ko ha. Players ni nyina no obia club side are more disciplined than the national team. Because the thing is Osimhen no Nigeria one are the big boy. One are making waves BBR. But even without Galatasaray enye Ikario prior Galatasaray bomb league J a bomb league in your top press, it carry show go dada. So you know, a best sign is a coach in the castle away.
Yes.
On what didn't come on. It was a short convo between Ono and the Galatasaray coach Okamburuk. Some do Baba Banosu. Coach Udi Aguanos. Me no castles meba no se try meba me penina from one Galatasaray penny. The next corner penny no. So to mean dance house to manage our club side. But national team to say that sometimes you cry a complaint say yen players ne ba e we anyway no omo ba omo fan say dey na Japan
demanding
yeah
ana demanding no I say obi a
because to say not to catch to club no I didn't want ya Napoli e ko we wana no mo boni din omo so Kwaraskilia
also Osimhen ye demanding but the kind of way o demanding and any attitude be to the be olusubo or ebibia sometimes the overreaction is huge. I watch Napoli games but to bench out to me attitude we say abroso. So big clubs ni no because United in Napoli na yes ade we be so bebu na ni aguso. What bench na bibia United ni bibia we bebu camera da so. You see, they consider Chelsea money we mu no. Also Chelsea money we mu they consider san your money nyina san one san wo.
Me say Eden Hazard.
Also one na wo catch me say big club omo hwen your market even as a coach omo hwen your attitude with players.
Me say Mikel Obidia no o say omo kobam Chelsea training no tackles ne fly e wo wiem like o ba na ye to wo ye de man wo wiem training no so mo ba match day kwa na wo serious dey back with Hazard none de na akwa say omo kɔ no akwa tena ice chest so omo e training so mo de mo nye born drew match day drew amunya born na mo pass ma me coach no so na akwa say asa gross on shira mfa na ho nhye training mo bia ntina ne bad ni nye used to your call Madrid some yi Madrid training hu na wo do Madrid no Benzema home tre koba Vinicius so koba wona wonye training so afei na body ba be adjust to train kakra bu bepra nti won ba wi free ba no Chelsea no betimi idea ope but call Madrid no
so kasi odi no so
yeah big club one dey untimi
ube jani mani bi okwan
ube jani mani bi bebe
Napoli how many years first league title in 31 years
Kevin Prince Boateng baba Samurefi
ube jani mani bebe
club le yire no Osimhen ntimi me dey oye no Chelsea
ube jani mani bebe Igalo they be account United club no omu wura baby ko omu say camera no o da kura na esi so
Big club.
Those things mean I believe he's the ultimate number 9 for big clubs in Europe in the summer. He's the ultimate striker. He is the ultimate.
Even with Real Madrid,
yes.
Osimhen beat me up.
Jose Madrid.
So Madrid out number 9. Near only Shimbapa left. Ebia Vinicius central and right.
Oh, it is for man.
Off the field,
but baby, I'm beginning na new team carrier say off the field. No come on. A class in but wicked way, eh? The Classica might not be your ideal kind of game between top clubs. I will be league be able enjoy more rivalry. A bit is a Derby de la Madonnina. Meaning say weekend we cry the Derby de la Capitale crowd so ye day. But the other game we any say now there's 6 points gap between Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. Bayer Leverkusen go home to Union Berlin. Obeshe. In the last 4 games between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, so no Bayern Munich ain't mean Borussia Dortmund. In the last 6 games in the Bundesliga, Dortmund are picking 12 points. Bayern Munich are picking 13 points. The only team to have picked more points than these 2 teams, Bayer Leverkusen are picking 15 points. Bayern Munich back game without Kingsley Coman, Jamal Musiala, Hiroki Aito, defender no, Dayot Opemekano, Steve Adams no also Asado.
101.3.
Opemekano, they are all out from this game. Pavlovic out. Bayern Munich face a serious injury situation from their point of view. Dortmund, Emre Can back on center back on Anton. Marcel Sabitzer are not only a quality player, more energy in the midfield. But Julian Brandt, Seu Gurasi, most of these guys are there, and the past record says it all. Bayern Munich can't afford to lose the league at this point. Me see 2 records at stake for Vincent Kompany. When the Champions League if you want my fancy, Obiano will lead the Bundesliga by 8 points. I do December league in 1 year.
Nah, or Bayern are still full and a Champions League tie against Inter. That's why you open.
Remember
and at the league tie
because
a bit me about say Manus Sumina so bought that classic game. Dortmund they have
nothing to lose in this
Barcelona.
Game.
So I say with the fear say in a woman in pra. So we also could pray Inter the enemy day.
And there's a funny statistics to say. Dortmund by minute game they are average 1.1 forced substitution within the game with injury. I force it.
To me,
Dortmund can afford to risk it all within the next 2 games. You go all out way.
Madrid buy a film.
Oh, buying me because buying will lose league for
Milano or the 2-1 in Milano.
As something very critical. And unim the idea so say when you say Obiano wa bo Bayern Munich and answer what coach Bayern Munich do this stage 68 points and 1 league no. It is over 68 points one Sunday league now. What's the record? Me 18 points got 268 points. Now say what there? Company doesn't want to see that thing in his record.
Trophy on a company.
By game when Ankasa there, most of the time no, both teams to score. And Anna goes to Susupi over 1.5 and above. Bayern Munich and Dortmund games both say 2-1, 3-1, 4-2.
Match we did.
That's the last time so almost
1-1.
Our match we as
4-2.
But are you
3-1?
Are you for no also upset?
Dortmund.
Yeah.
On Behadri.
I'm convinced, but the thing is that they are on the verge of losing out on Europe for next season.
On the A4.
So you give everything for this game.
But on squad a fino. Strength in say.
And the injury situation of Bayern Munich so will need to Steve line.
As a Bayern so Emma with full strength. They have deficiencies.
That's a defense more so grass in there. Curtains in there a day more. Julian Brandt mo.
Yeah.
Put me more one goal. I know the man
say Barca team no.
Asemna na.
Aye papa na o coach team no. O say earlier on Beka say with Hansi Flick. With Hansi Flick. Barcelona will be highly successful this season because of the mentality of the manager. At Bayern Munich, he stated that enough is never enough for him. So, under those managers, Barca team here more like an all-defend, all-attack system because of the quick transition.
Yes.
Typical of Barcelona's DNA, a possessive football. Let's get them out of position. But this time around, Osha Barca matches are almost circulating passes among the defensive line. So more transitive they don't waste time in terms of the passes. To check the number of goals on match. They be no year transitive. That is the image of Hansi Flick. Inti ne team no bet me under certain managers be say this same Dortmund side. They've met oppositions almost three goals with the same Gorasi. But Barcelona team now born this season. Omunje Mbappe ne Vinicius.
Show mo 5-2 nyina.
Omunje Mbappe and Vinicius.
Me catch him last week and say this Barcelona Dortmund game, any match for Barcelona.
It was just a rehearsal
because we have a series of score lines and no mania. Barca just 7-0.
Yeah.
Bana coach in the dugout.
Oh, Francis Refi, me see the time now more share Barcelona 8-2. After the game, or you disappointed so much conceded 2. No man share more. Because he felt say it was a game. The Felipe got in a free bench. You see, so next season, and Fancy, Osha Barca team now, and yeah, arrived yet, and yet team yet. Next season, they will be super, and yet team yet, they are. I say, Oka say, yeah, DBB can be built okay. That is the team of Mukuta say. Because Osha and Kwadana both team Nimun say na omunye a full strength team, but they are an efficient machinery under this manager. So next season Barcelona will need some 3 addition in terms of quality. Danny Olmo. Yeah. And you see the quality are almost possessed. Anytime when you opportunity to play, he's a different player.
Yes.
Or there's something unique about Barca team, But no, because of injury registration issues, he has to be out. Into show my team now, Pedri, Femi Lopez, no Baby, na Rafinha, and they carry the team with Robert Lewandowski. So imagine say Barcelona in from the Champions League. They go into the transfer window, adding Abia, Lautaro Martinez, omope a real centro campista be the middle area. Now pet the defensive shape ni okay. Look at the smart moves on my Szczesny comes in. Waba solve the goalkeeping problem. And your long term. But you can trust him. Say, Juma Mopes or Moya this season, yet Barcelona no enyina baby. So, if a team echo into games with Barcelona, no Intimi and Shegua, initially, no more biggest worry. I had the high, how almost setting up so high. So, anytime a ball no be beat the offside trap, no, but Barcelona conceded. They found solutions to that, and they've met Vinicius Junior. They've met Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo in 2 games. Oka score no boma saying how many goals na Barcelona Real Madrid. So it tells you of a team solid. Barcelona is the team this season. Mobi and Nadal, they are doing very well, and they will be better next season. Now they are doing well. Pa Kubasi gather confidence in there.
Chances be but could be also tapping of from where. When you bet to be
get your chances now.
Chances are Barca for now or utilizing.
Yeah.
So be a schedule now. Over Barca be sure say
you will get your chances, but so be sure.
They have a solid team, but ni because of the manager. Into Busa on say Chelsea to na Manchester United to no more per manager. No more gambo about Portugal and Ibia and about Junior Kama. Ushivino Namwa. And that was my topic. I'm treating many jam and a stadium and yet to one EPO highlight and also the lap as a Liverpool the review okay Paul Konchesky Liverpool go far by Sisa players ni bia na mu homo konya Raul Meireles. Oh yeah, de kakra na Chelsea for the sika be fa. Yes. So names are yede o mo link Manchester United. Yes, we know him Ipswich. And Manchester United did that. Now your price tag and so on the bona. Masam no nyina gina de new team kan no. Ni nti ana coaches be ye taught me player we got man so time na twam. That those were the days of Fergie and Ancelotti. They are the bosses in coaching. It's because of a series of winning any a niche or creative for themselves. You believe the judgment of the coach. Say your coach is MP we dear. He is a perfect fit for a human or person. But sadly not change. It changed from 2007 Ebano when the emergence of new coaches Ebem. Mourinho Beya there at Chelsea. Or sporty certain players be. Emma Chelsea Koto. Then he was the European champion with FC Porto. And Chelsea wanted to break through the dominance of Manchester and then Arsenal. So you just have to trust the manager. But new guys here, Omabaya, ye Haley Omu, Obiani who had the profile of using Mourinho or the bar Chelsea in a big kitabi. But Papa, your friend saying, Te Hag, Papa. I saw a ball playing goalkeeper. You see? Yeah, I saw a ball playing. But open Manchester, baby, and any council on Monday or Monsaka cry at the goalkeeping in terms of David here.
He was the same goalkeeper as well. Now the errors leading to goal never was wrong.
I bet Dawson say, "Oh, they me say, and he's the best, and he's the best goalkeeper for a children currently. That's all honor. Onana Antisa. So every time I have ban also a ball playing goalkeeper. I had the ideology of the coach, the philosophy, how he sees football, how he wants football to be played. But then the whole philosophy of Manchester United. I didn't think that Real Madrid are highly successful, no matter the manager or whatever. Over the years, Randy Roma saw a hobby, but there's a clear system of what Real Madrid say. And if you are a good coach, whatever ingredients we give you, you should be able to make the best use out of it. And the managers in the bar, they call the bluff of managers. Mourinho yebeja can be successful. To the point that and they Zidane Awakoshe fear and they on a year trench holidays. A bit more doubting and nese. The success at Real Madrid, and then the technical brilliance.
As a print and doubt.
At the end of the honor follow, and that has been Madrid style. Into the Europe, say open a go-to club to learn something from Real Madrid. I'm the Galacticos by, and they want to offer a style be shame in terms of transfer. Mate Saliba, the Enwana Jomi say Madrid will not make a move for him. I can't say in 2 seasons. They will wait. Yes.
Say Arsenal. To one and a question say, I'm best one destabilize the player now. Boy, and a carnage not for sale. No, say the Sana there. About 2027. Next year 26 Yabesamba. Yabano want to so be trying the following year. Small boy, oh, Saliba nya afin when how many years? 23, 24.
Omone crash in you. Sisi stala omode abano. So Madrid be building institution no. Your philosophy ni into okofa player na.
Euro come from betray no.
So left back. Yeah. So okofa player na onim the margin of error or more committee. Not the coach in the deba. Into ya mete say man you for especially coach in the buy omuntu on the players a man. So coach be e ba na yeto the players a man the ani e can be do so pa. And that is why I all mention more finances. Now quickly to Ancelotti there now come about Brazil. You see the problem of Brazil no. Europeans no are smart and me promise them so much. Now more card into Brazil at top form no mu ya change the river no ma pamo own indigenous coaches no ma pamo and they are thinking of gambling with an European coach, something that omonye. But the Europe for no I Brazil for over the years and I say It is said the omode year Africa. They will come for cocoa, the raw material, not the core, no a finish and na e kama. Until be tasting it there no. So you have that affinity for Sadia no. Yen check your World Cup from 2002 up to date. How many South American countries are winning? How many European nations are winning World Cup no? 2002 was Brazil. 2006 was Italy. 2010 Spain beje. 2014 Germany beje. 2018 France beje. 2022 Argentina.
So Europeans in dominate.
So 20 years you know. 20-year period nearby and son another South American nation beje. Into Vinicius the difference between Vinicius and Neymar is that Neymar AGD or South America, you're recognizing a European platform before Oba. Into Ballon d'Or podium no best goal near Yina. Not boy ni dini reflect or
season Oba the 10th.
Yes.
Neymar Oba Ballon d'Or no be the 10th.
No share Barca or a club or championship.
Yes. Na Puskas so said okay na didn't go na ba.
Yes. So he has proven to be a good player. Harry Kane called 2018. He was the World Cup top scorer. 2010 one AJ World Cups. Osha Europeans no. So they will take you at a very young age and then they will instill their way. Untimi may better than their own. It's your from raw material no. You know our own way. To finish us by a very young age. No, we don't share Castilla. Portuguese Brazilian football tuition ya dem man or European. Yeah, more European there. Into a corner the bigger stage, which is the World Cup. And now Brazil for no. Modiji they recognizable players now. You are not there anymore.
Okay.
Now, so I saw the connection between their coaches. Into Dorival on one side, other than Copa America, no, Libertadores, and they are doing well. Into Kwarani, so ya sporty omo we mu pesca yen fa 40,000 or 40 million euros nko ho yen ko dwenemra ya cut the connection with the manager into ube transit amasa manager na be use national team no na wo ba with European mentality and yamama gia to mu say
American way
yamama gia to mu say the UEFA Champions League no na man recognition on the bigger stage but before South American players were recognized into Ukomowa despite the Messi Bayer were Europe and almost say Maradona na revered. He is our God until Saudi Arabia
World Cup.
You are not the
World Cup.
So football is about conquering the world. If you are able to conquer the world, only player Bebodin, Mario Kempes ne Omomaka Modin. But Messi, despite the series of successor on Barcelona Argentina, or 90+ goals in a season, Masa, onya boga we hosa. And it's all percent ma wo kroma nyina to nyum fell there. There's only one thing I'll be timia. So the 2022 World Cup meant a lot for Leo Andres Messi. So until Brazil realizes these things, normal setting up a mechanism to fight against that. Brazil might never win the league at the World Cup, but only we need a be a better. But
then the all coming in actually say Europeans na dominate the World Cup and then the Ancelotti European bar. No, I'm a boy European born be.
So they would want to feed into the European football, but unfortunately, Ancelotti baby I want to run you want to brew.
And our player managing so very
player managing. Baby I want to run if he's being sincere with himself. A Jumana Ancelotti over the time. And the problem at Brazil no. So okay say on can you mum sincere. But Europeans do not necessarily need somebody like Ancelotti to be successful because Spanish manager De La Fuente. How many years are you in charge?
No, under 23 no.
Yes.
21 so.
21.
And what transited? How many years Garisage de Frosro? Yes, so you don't need exceptionally big game European manager to do that with their national teams. So a big core and a big ass.
De La Fuente ne Southgate even though coaches are young, almost conform no buy, but they had materials at the top level. Hurricane batch in a generation in England and Yano, Southgate no issue. And that's the Mokrania actually no more. Yes, Mom see her be the same thing. De La Fuente Spain squad abetum. Shamania Spain who year Germany 2014 World Cup. Now Mobokra, you won 2010. Then 4 years later. BLTC from Oyeshe but De La Fuente about to prime squad way back Pedri Mobo in Nations League
but Meza
some time ago but
they are very sincere before the European Championship. If you can see and predict potential winners, we might not mention Spain.
But
so what I say
yes France and Germany
because of
Mobokra boy Spain your man for
yes
no here Basa boys here Gavi
analysis like saying to the very fine detail.
So he's coming home. No more ball to say Bia Portugal.
Even the team is France.
France.
Then Portugal will come.
Okay, Spain, Italy game be a Gavi Bosso method, no. And check, and check, Italy, Spain game be Gavi Gino, papa. A honey injury, a honey Spain neighbor. But with Brazil, no. A honey name do okay. England had the materials as Southgate, but Spain had Brazil for no way.
And until now,
they come unknown coach here. One we are not Breno. Southgate, you're unknown. De La Fuente unknown, but materials, no. Now rich.
Does Brazil have rich materials?
Materials, no. They are still calling
them. They have rich materials. Or more rich materials, which I believe say Ancelotti, a good man manager.
There's no materials.
Oh yes, I believe they have good materials.
We are talking about standardization.
If you are talking about the standard of even France, see a first standard of 98. Some of the French national team players. Russia. See a 98 crown Russia for no more to 98 for no in terms of rich materials. What is the mention? And then I know more Russia and also no. See a far or more final way say no in terms of rich materials. Almost so
now
Russia for
you still find a way to catch up.
It is Brazil for no. You can see a 2002, 2006, 2010, no rich materials and but in their own way, in current standards, I believe some good players be on more. Coach now because I believe Bruno Guimaraes is not a bad player.
Bruno Guimaraes is
not a bad player. Gabriel Magalhaes is not Arsenal. Only bad centre back.
Look, let me say, Ubetimi Abo Marquinhos, Gabriel 4 and 5.
What's he say?
But me Berardo is Brazilian.
Lucas Berardo so, but me Busa Wasemba ko say. Me bomb and sign Lucas Berardo, Marquinhos.
Jolinton how can as man now
take time. What the Jolinton Berardo she has paid for? Jolinton no whine about tears paying for anything. Let's talk about reality. Me see Spain squad no man fast say no. France squad no more parody the banner. Brazil be. Why about Brazil too?
They have.
Why about Brazil too? Say
young Kutu. Brazil.
Let's stop this conversation. We are talking about Brazil, the greatest football nation on earth. What's saying Kutu? Who is their left back? Who is Brazil number 9? Is here Matias Kuna na ebo mo 9. Now I'm telling you say France kona Colomoni and Sha Ousmane Dembele bakola mo Rasa.
Van der Sar no mo na ko Brazil and Sha to
1 point.
And you tell me can standardization.
2018 World Cup no Brazil squad no more Thiago so I know entirely about quality but how to win abe issue. They had Felipe Coutinho during that World Cup. 2018 World Cup now Moko Shia Belgium side no. They had that name quality and they but they are finding it hard to win. And America say it is simple. The Europeans have found a way to keep their dominance.
Uruguay, Argentina, Spain, France.
Uruguay then I can also your coach now Marcelo Bielsa no. One of year Jumani because now former coach by BB Alonso no. No ntimi nya adwuma. But Marcelo Bielsa no. What is an anchor? Uruguay, they were almost out of.
Yes, and at this point, and who is Bielsa? And who is Bielsa? And what I'm saying, experienced manager. So
next Ancelotti so bet me.
Good me but the point was that who say Southgate de la Fuente for
winner no.
Unknown or say unknown for be. Bet to me they don't really need exceptional. And I'm say they need big man here. Bielsa, Ancelotti. Look, Brazil for before Ancelotti did better up on Pep Guardiola. They are looking for a manager, man management or scouting or tactical or I'll bet me set up a culture and also so I'm a bonnet. If Okasa show materials part Brazil what to do France Spain no Brazil in this squad say do be what they see they didn't come out Brazil in this squad say Spain, France, Uruguay, Argentina. I'm gonna so primed pa. Nam the Portugal and England ababisi so. But for Brazil, I mean Komachi. We did Obia was say na Casadia. Casemiro is not the regular number 6 you want any longer. Opagbo Joleton, Nama Busa say, only Gomarish, not the wine basis so Paqueta. A name na Obobo. But Brazil, apart from Omu name, no.
Oh, Edison is also not a bad midfielder.
Oh, Atalanta, Edison. No. That is why I make us say name now. That is my point.
Okay. Well, Mesa.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Fancy. So.
Your mouth quotes we. 33 odds, 30 odds, 12 odds, now 5 odds.
4 quotes.
4 quotes.
In addition to the ED kind.
The ED kind of amount. Where you are grilling it. Tamana Okasani.
We're not say. The Mekuni and the Mekuni
fan where to tune with.
To Tuama.
Yes, Mama and I did. If a pen paper never through code way
1AE
97929
929
1AE 97929
929
1AE 98
120
120 1AE 98 120 12 odds 1AE 98 C24 1AE 98 C24 and 1AE 99 852 and a weekend and a weekend
that be last code no
1AE
99
852
852
252
F2 it's last code near 1AE.
Last code no mistake. Don't mama wrong code.
Last code near 1AE.
I don't fine.
But how for permanent we say.
I no be answer man.
Yeah no.
Because I hear
but last code
it's 1AE 99 F2
8F2
yes
1AE
yes
99
yes
8F2 and the last code
it weekend we now do so that show to third responsible
can nyansem and farmer kwada onemu
and farmer kwada
if you do what well couple pray na yem refer Lucas na bra real quick na
about the whole cow AK condensement
you awesome and game
couple your way
indeed untie kura bitie no ano aka no Steve nso di biaba ti di omu no ebusa for your room na ye di nkomo Ghana league no nyame adom ne matches no ebi beba so enra ye ball game baako na TNA na ye mediama omo any dreams game no na efe pa na John Kane na se enuama ko kama mediama for ball modern ehye 4 ema dreams sentiment abranche Kingsley Breye ebo hat-trick o sa game a eno ko so shara ko ba ma me goal no na afi ya hwe highlight no ko mo fa so the boss no eto net e wa group amano so na timi se FA pa Kingsley enra obomodin e man tena de emiensa ade kasa ye e wa group amano so that's KB29 no ise odu takwa ne ba bia ise no KB29 na no mo e de Fernando hat-trick ana oboye e wa group amano so ayi highlight na afi goals ni bi enso etimi de a no penalties so de bebre e paye e wa group amano so ahu se omo e de bi to net ball no kɔ nanim no obehu goals na eno etimi etontenam e de ma mediama eno omo chi dreams e ball mo e kan nan emhomo entimi ante no e kakrefu ono de beberem na afi ato so e wo abrante na oball ntenam yensa ye fani Kingsley Breye KP29 eri tudwa se ne maame edi ni 60th birthday ntia no an hat-trick no boy ne de goals ni nyina no o dedicate e de ma ne mada yentie Kingsley eno after the game kakra ono so eri tudwa
I'm from Wafi. This month is a special month for my mom, and today too is a special day for me. Until we catch up with her. So when my mom BBR, I have to score for her. My mom. She's going to celebrate her 60th birthday, which is very good.
On Kingsley anenra ono so de kakra etudwa ne games no ene game baako na ho china ana games ne beto so akoso Accra Lions o many Basaka All Stars game na ne ana ehwe no 3 pm say no betima abaso Shadrack enko the next games o china e matches no ni nkomo kakra emfa wo Krobia Kumasi asantekotoko many bechem United about 3 pm a game ne bebaso Vision any House of Folk game no so 3 pm and also ebebaso Karela any aduana ebebo ana fi Brekum Chelsea o Heart of Lions at the Bunny Gold Stars, any young apostles at the Bunny, and I feel Legon Cities, Omani Samates, and so at the Bunny 3 pm. And I said, China, Yamia, Duma Gamesa, and no ever Koso, and you're doing some at the Kotoko, any Bechem United game, the Yenin Komakakra, Enra, and Frederick Asari, no air captain, Dema Krobia Kumasi, asantekotoko, Enra Sports Buffet, and what Nasi, Brownie Fancy, Airborne Komafa Kotoko, and I feel in the personal life, or now, or in some Kakatuja, so coach Prosper Nati. Coaches are Omo and Sweetima coaching in the Obeka as a coach the best Abrenra and Komano Kosienti Abrantia Frederick Asari. Yes, say coach and so voice ebe ready na fi ye de wonsem and so etimi aba bra coach and I say Abrantia Frederick Asare Kasafa coach say we are the best coaches be bring na fa or no and wa bo under them name o say coach Ogum the best.
Yeah, one of the best. Like Obia on the floors, but he's one of the best. Yeah.
Very demanding
or a top level coach. Like he doesn't settle for less. I'm trying to say bomb match now you winning 2-0 and maybe Senna or can't say a mono. He's not even happy. But he's not even happy because the way he wants us to play, we didn't maybe play that way. So he's very demanding. Even at training grounds, he doesn't give you the almost have freedom or person there. At the end of the day, he's looking for the results. He's also looking for your personal development. In as much as upper results, no player, no developments, because of let's say individually, you improve, the team also improves. He's a very demanding coach or a fantastic coach, one of the best in the country.
Wow,
yeah.
Nini DNA Bobi Ediama ahead of game and so Barcelona became game na hu hia yipa and so odi nkoma kakra efa ho che de o game num ene de say supporters ehu.
The preparation has been very good. Yakwa win na keep win, but unfortunately Yenya win. I think say a match is not can
if we really want to win the league, we have to win all the matches. The chain match, I think we are really prepared. Yeah, so it's not a new thing. Can you know about training? Also, didn't know who be. So mentally, physically, I think we are very prepared to win the game.
Moshe.
Yes, sir.
Go be unya kan double there, and it's a match. Bia na mo kwa mo bia.
See, I can't 12 finals ever.
Yes, FA Cup.
Yeah.
12 finals.
Oh, I know, and somebody actually say finals, and they are come 12. Our mobile, I know, start here for Yami, I do much now, Eddie no more, any bitch United, but a new game or no can one some, I don't some, and the season no FA Cup, a woman and I feel league, and so double, a possible. I'm a Kotoko, say yes, Kotoko fans, and I'm fan show with him say, double on it, dear, still now, move it to me a rim, now magic.
Yeah, double in India is going to happen. Of course.
It's easy we are more for our
David. Yeah, we are winning the double because you believe you said this is the time. And I think the last time it happened was 2014 or 2013 in Mobile.
Yeah.
So we want to create history for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So this season it's really happening.
Well, any ansema although any two journalists and Koma, any Frederick Kasari, captain the Macrobia Kumasi asantekotoko, Edin Commodore, to supporters, no so calling for support from Nyami Adumochna game in the games are Kenyan and Esamobra, Namobe Takotoko, because I'm double supporters, no support, Ebeka will be pa.
Megina has a Egina players Nina name Australia Kotoko supporters say match not even only this match because say Akai 12 finals yenim yo metimi aye se Kotoko supporters kaso mu ye bibia yenim yo metimi aye se besom say 12 finals ya Akai omumra in their numbers to support the club so na be aye di nkunimdie ne double na ebemo
to join we Kotoko supporters ni the can say na me adumo china eko ni nyina no say mo ko na ma je double dia starting from china finals ni die 12 and I can you come to join na me adumo china ye be sa to asna fi Frederick Nsembebre no dey to join the one sembe ba watara and so ni vision game na no be she has of full common vision be bo na sa game no e won sem e wa coach watara and any team they said they are very prepared for this game because Mati coach and worker technical advisor the team a friend vision said first 25 minutes now Omari has of Diaka a tiki taka beautiful football watara so I prepare Omodisha vision
to play on Sunday at Tema to get the maximum point in Kama House.
Players, how prepared are they?
Everybody is okay. We are ready to play that match after we travel again. These are Suffolk. So the players are well. We have 1 or 2, 3 players. I don't know if you can play Apido particularly. Hussein, I'm looking, is 60%. Ramsey, I think, is out. That the rest of the players are there. We have 1 red card. Mankwa. All the rest of players are there. Hamza also, we can get him.
Nti coach Abubakar Watara and some of the Atujana supporters no so also be here mopa because what is a vision for no woman ya break nemum has and so support and we be here until call it on supporters no fans no message or them ahead of the game Ebaso Sunday.
Can't say anything. I just calling my fans to come and support the team. The fans who are coming to support us of I know from Ashama, Tema, some of our supporters are coming for Sugar Copy to come and support the team. Let me tell you, all the 9 matches as of we have is the fair now. Is the tough matches. As of we need to prepare yourself more than 140%, 50% because all the things we are going to make are good.
Atara nyame adoma Sunday ni message to supporters ne de wonsem e de abenra o Tuba Street of no so division 1 no Tuba na nye easy cry no I atram the visa ne ho United and the boy ni na atram the visa for bomodin wo muto atena ba akoma ho for intimi ante na ye pon game no na say referee a wo ye oba wono edi game no na say ye di ni pie police for and the Juliet appear a pie free pitch no so ma me video no na ye nhwe ni nyina no eye enra nioma ekoso ewa group amano so we eye penalty a oje dem atram the visa mo de mo hwe ball no di na ni team mo de mo calculate ya baby attack no goalkeeper no ebe tackle ball ya referee no je penalty na no anama hohoi for na nto mo ase hwe baby keeper pie ba ya nti tackle yi box no by tackle no mo hwe tackle ni ya was it penalty anaze penalty no no mo so mo nto mo ho ase se bo we pa the referee Juliet apia wa momodin kra amfa ma wo mu tackle na keeper no bae no ebe yi no hwe bo ya say penalty.
I say been at the last time I make I say camera angles no. Because one camera.
Yes, and I'll do that.
Shara could not from her from Babia LED to referee decision from the
last end or no.
Last end on when I make penalty had you drawn us in Kebia obet me slow down am I
am person slow how crowd baby or keep an anyway
keep an ball.
Yeah.
No. Now first of all you didn't come away free baby a referee no Shadrach before we no back into contact and person hold on you did referee home come kakra on twa baby a referee no you how can you give a good judgment now so assume now almost so assume look at your position it's a referee game now look at where you are. This is very critical. So bad action around even gate 1. You are far from even the box and son of a picky gate 1, 2, 3, 1 who be original.
Because once I pass and the corner also the ball the steps.
As soon as possible.
The position in
the ball is really ahead of you. But I think I will look at the ball's distance and the referee no.
Shall I with that surpass how slow down now? What guys obey you no to that.
Look at where the referees here. Look at where the referees. You can have a and I know share one surprising is Shadrach and Fan Connect. You know, be for the into baby referee no. I know. What a referee and send young corner no. Watch the referee and send fan and Benny Crano. So uncle or the Saba corner no ha. Ask keeper no ever start exiting the line. None and send fan corner no. Have you watched it? More.
Some cool achievement time and a reference are done a natural position. Okay, so when if other one reference are right,
yes,
to the free young call say Okona. Now say direction of the ball.
Yes,
also reference are national, but goalkeeper nyam ball to the young in the area in Anna when it's left no. Oh no,
the thing is that initially she wanted to whistle for a foul over here.
First
play on. So play must continue. Foul.
Play must continue.
No. Say Ben the corner no. And the ball references a Ben corner no.
Play on. So they call video nko.
My problem now starts from here. Her position as a referee and the actions zone. The zone, the scene, no baby see you know. Now here, shout to here and pass a shadow like a person mami. Now yo, let's talk about this. But the freeway, how many blocks anyone in him?
What make crowd player now? Or that left in the crowd block baby a ball no one. Yeah, you hit it.
It's what you just call for the orange for no. I said hormone. I said referee no position how you get 2. How so you say breeding ko referee technically. So you 2 yellow say red for no. So you montem. Just to have a clear view. Referee no di Ghana and Portugal you as a referee now. I'll just sell you Ronaldo penalty. No, nobody no jina. He was just following the ball, but more if you deep in the bar, Rafael or more ball if you deep. But he was just on the edge of the box. Look at where the referees. We are talking about penalty, sensitive and critical point of the game.
So what about playing here hard here? Me Jami Bisana say goalkeeper no can ball no, and I no one can.
They one can ball.
The ball changed direction too.
Ball look who see a call player and anymore.
Ball no corner. A corner flag. You can't really see, but ball can't cry. But who's a young?
The direction of the ball will tell us.
Couple, you way you know. Me ball na
ngase hwehwa you hu. Enti
before even born as media Juliet there problem am na no in position. But you will establish penalty pa confidence
establish it. Say goalkeeper no can ball, send one can ball. And you say you ball no. By a man at say in position. Couple yonko.
One see Shara ko ba ma mra na o free pitch no so no okọ no. Na say okay.
Shara ka video no so. Okay. Shara ka ya de pa. O fa ju no betimi ayo.
Oh, keep on inside.
So Shara slow down so my.
Slow down the unya because two just we are blocking but we can only speak to the direction of the ball.
Then it means keep another and changing the direction of the
ball. That's my point here. Keep an answer war ball no so. Answer ball no so.
Because an insang was one direction of the ball you be who box anymore.
The direction of the ball you could.
Any corner flag or you making.
So means keep an things kind.
Keep an answer ball.
You ball kind of player no so the
other ball player be I was so abanako keep an in your corner.
Them say they means make
you are right. I want you know
because Sharon can zoom video na my
it's any
yeah
and besides
striker be more who say Sharon slow down
striker
they slow down do shoot two jays no goalkeeper na say ball no so hwe do shoot two jays na left both the ball be pure on the left to crew between player and the edge of the screen. So
keep on.
But apart from what the Russia striker the why you so far no or Johnny nine keeper no we should the na me no Johnny nine
invited oh yeah
Johnny nine
they have to be smart they have to
sure shark enti o man fan ho anche no o mo pon match no o man fan ho anche no kra you referee no omo penabo no enti so obenya video na ma me na say omo ahohoefo no ebonyo so kra players ne officials ni nyina te say omo ni abre na nya asem geto akra enti na eja ye kame omo down e wo ho na say please for no eyini pie yes na hadwe na omo wie say no entokwaso si wachire fans no e de ntokwasi wachire na nya asem geto akra ene we efa we obi tirimu kra pai a chese na
ha from the show obi tirimu sa no
e ma chese enezo hooliganism ayakan wasema kaka na nra na
the helmet boga na tiko nipa na tiko bi ese wani wono
odi wi oba ina asem geto akra nze hadrin
nesa ka hama odi agbona tiko
obi na moje pram no
ise se modi mu nsua hwe
aha obi na moje pram no agropama no so no
watcha
obi so
sorry class in the other
na ni so abiri no na ni so abiri no
kai
na ni so omo se dawo kakra also omo se dawo kakra na oni so ntete because when it's
what's the game by sense
ho United ni Atram Divisa
Division 1
Astro Tev no so enra and a game we apostle inti it is already
let me want some
enra na unim say na sports minister ho sports minister ho one John Pinster enra omo hwe ball ni be omo ni o eno no mo presence e wa group amano so a no mo monitor game ni bi anka yesa mo ye bibia e be comment we nyina sports minister is in anim as on who the course or pitch no so it is omu ye bibi omu nyemfa and after game no and o say omu de he said the obehwe matches bia o Ghana ha say division 1 division 2 Premier League ne blasters nkwenti no ba or ba ba ye adwuma enu na no ba tuba astro time no so be monitor game the Sharak I ready a sports minister after say game no e ko na wie ne nsem kakra o de to do say we are not joking ya media agro kra ya ba see about my ball no and so aye ti sports minister and I will share no ti ebeti kakra or the tuja.
Oh, sure, we're not joking with every and to make sure to touch base with every sport, and so I make time to be present and to see things for myself. I like to be reported to, but then I also want to see for myself to validate what it is that people report to me. So my presence here today, I will not only be attending high-ranking matches like when Blackstars is playing, or the under-23, or the Black Queens are playing, or the Premier. No, even the ones.
City 1
City 8
Roman City 0 Crystal Palace 1 about 12 minutes then so line up a prep du ko me hu am so opani baby e japa de won ho ne yakoma
wo eno de no kre
no ya we
no kre pa pep
onya we ono to ono
de akoso
ayi force no that's what things
woni de akoso
obeto one day
na me adomo china munya abotre
oba mo intention wo tuo ma Crystal Palace ne be show uniform o ball
na we
line up bi
but then na we
o say o boy why
omusi da abotre
na ho se go ma tata
na tam nko emrewum
awo 12 e bere chese emrewum na abotre basa wo bru so ntomo no ye kokko ye no 2 up ne entiense free ho wo se first 2 goals ne ye show 10 crowd bi anfa ho bi ya ko home win no be ye go home win
yeah nti yenhwe me sorry every for na charge atram the visa ne ye can say Hoho United for no na charge omo de a charge omo no ana Shadrack e de atoso no na ohwe said the New City na say omo pre-match interviews I say coaches ni players ne ye no omo amomanye so ya charge atram the visa for no say omo fail so omo de players ever for pre-match now we pre-match okay na but me another one no and so say fail to control their supporters say ntokwa no so see any ade no omo nyina omo ntimi I engage omo supporters ama eno ntimi ama eno kakra ba ana coach the Hoho United and so ya charge no coach I friend is say Azuma Nelson on also ya say o Kansembi match commissioner abra ono ye no post match into on so Azuma yeso omeyi na no na on hwe say the New City nti fancy na game
ma also be say also fancy the incident happened after the minister of sports left he left after the first half okay I'm say
there's a minister no call no but there is the minister stadium no stadium oba ho
and you no try minister akwansa
na wako
na boy to kwa be and for fanachina ko
oko game na city no ka nim enti na me say minister e wo pitch no so enra to no e monitor game ni divansi ye fancy na e bedu afomrem na omo so inform de emra
okay wo couple that say yemra na fe yemeto asunti yebe matches ni mo new yo adano ka say there is no way am say Chelsea bejama koroko afa league asaba be FA Cup ba say so say double because almost she pull any monyam and then league matches ni mo
and sorry interview no I was just listening to a captain of a big traditional club, but in other words, I was also listening to somebody or a national team player. But above all this, I also listened to somebody who really matured. Maria Sarah will be on fine. He's one person from distance. Let me who is also. yeah me trim na make yi obi so trim hu me kwan be fofo bi so
yes
asare de na madwenyam say osu but then na me tene nchen no he spoke so well and no catch me why other poem na abufu bakra ya sell ya no ya quiet din sa no because my goalkeepers be Burkina 98 Burkina for goalkeeper o hye ne war na ne defense no for 1-2 no antia o kwa chi be catch us here from Burkina 98 keeper no TikTok in sad to say so Asare has remained very calm and it also helped him in the growth as a goalkeeper. Now I say 12 finals and akotoko aka ss omowobo. One thing about this game is disappointment. So 12 finals, Frederick as a captain, as a leader of the side, and he has to get the best out of the other guys. He has to let them understand the journey. Winning double doesn't come that easy. So say I can't say double the Ashe Pola and Munyam, and for that matter, fraternity in the show man Munyam, Adjo or Makuma. But let's talk about the reality. One of the toughest games I made money Asheno. Me kind of pay. Mashakotoko Nation so babayara. Mashakotoko Hasfolk babayara. Mashakotoko Adriana babayara. Mashakotoko Accra Lions and Coach Tanko last season or last 2 seasons so babayara. All these games, what they Kotoko Bichim, Ebeka those games, I've watched Kotoko against Bichim Timwa, and yet very unrelenting. They really play through their own identity. That possessive style of play, Omo Kasa Omo Kwa away. You call Dance Park, you call Brickle Chelsea, you call you call science to play per the weaknesses or the strength of the position. They don't do that, Bichim. From the days of Coach Kessie Mingle. They always set up a team one air ball according to one Kasa traditions. Back four number ball, midfielders number bobby, attackers number bobby. My number one caution to Kotoko say, Bechem from the first minute kosi 90 no, on baba Kotoko sosa, Kotoko nyina kumum no on moboa, opeswobo. But say Kotoko eja ball no ma Bechem ne die. It will be the thing I mean person me cry because Bechem in terms of possession they are one of the best teams in the league. The Togo manje board no more. Munja board in fama Bechem. Oma Bechem run if indeed a person drain you more. Oma Bechem running a lot of the time. Now on try sell, but very much incisive and precise in the final third. But for Bechem, a main strength a more wider zones, I dare make a check to say. From the first blast of the whistle, see the 90th minute, Omutu and Frene be the busiest of policemen our game. Two no very busy. Omala Vac be very busy because it has been a domineering zone for Bechem United over the course of time. Omobobo ball defense aba ball in finfiasa a switch they go out wide. Enti me masema me catch Kotoko ne say omo hye ne ma mienu nso. Omo tu enfre no e na ball sa enam soro a beba box no. Ya uti nkomo yi ne beto. Steve na timi benkum so no. Kotoko tu enfre no omo hye hokina. Na omo ntimi a hye hokina na say ye twe omo na ye beat omo na ball so no ye send na e ba. They should find a way to deal with floated balls into the box. Oh, boy, now, media my boy, no, the two net, no. Hat trick, no, share, no. A movie, you head though. Make up bring ya. Yes. Yeah, this is the first goal. I am not talking about more 4 men in the box. Yes. Maybe you're not born here, but. Bechem United back cross the balls, big brain, the Abakotoko box room. Now, the aim was wicked finna of football, when they say, and I know by a story be. Also, Mikel Arteta set pieces now. You did defining this season, and no one sooner. If I should say, 42% of the time we concede. Now, the TN say, in terms of football, who attack it with set pieces are F4 since we defend the set pieces. Yampachotia say. So we team now person preventing goals from set pieces, it's difficult since said your own planning. So Akoshe. All planning are for power. But so we defend here. It's very tough because in defending, we need probably in defending. Your mentality has to sync and connect with the other person. My marking, who say why you know. But by the time I bought the bar arrive, no journey move. but I attack it there. It's because nipa be 6 monko yiri nipa so masi ye hete ball na mana ko nipa we ho na opema so Dr. Gum on share the difference ni ye ne laterals no or ball home but menya na wa close ba ko aja ba ko so onko oja obi a onja Patrick no close to the other one no, but he is the coach. But me masema me can say me for the idea it's just going to be 50-50, but be a game no be body kese no eba be 10-10 away from that game no na me preview me post match media ma no. Coach Tanko ye one coach as a person me respecting pa, but be a magina akakakra na magina to me e coach no. Coach the Juma ye wa Accra Lions no, I loved it, but anya Accra Lions na me di hu Coach Tanko. He started from somewhere Japan as a national team coach, but also our Cameroon as a national team coach. At the time I was Ghana no, and could break I say, "Oh, deserve said the national team man." And indeed, yeah, they met you man twice. And you know, yeah, Juma. But club football no, Coach Tanko nyanyi team pie hormosa. Coach Tanko nyanyi team pie hormosa.
Crystal Palace 2, City 0. Say.
I'm on camera under me kwam so. As a count.
So you almost starting in terms of also remember the team point your point there.
Yeah.
When I was in Man City.
They say if I do me pipe on the weekend we no
22 minutes.
And do you rather so answer can I tell you man if I do minimum we ask no. So Coach Tanko yaw after so fresh Lions no na me bompa mu trim pa say the next club no betimi afa no be adwuma ni sometimes that people mo bompa ma o but then ya we say mo bompa ma me who say onya hat trick no onya hat trick ni tia me papa Coach Zito, but I was happy. I was super happy. And found some media my young crowd that score and the mama Jesse said I celebrate the 4 goals now media mania the dreams no I'm a need papa media because I was waiting patiently say media man fee that's Africa no media money we can't talk about squad. Look, media happens to be one of the clubs that provided players for the 17 blaster, so about quality I'm on trouble. But they've been looking for a coach, a Juma coach Adotaya as a technical director, coach Obabe Sisuro. They were not getting it. But I hope say that scoreline 4 no ebetimi ye bibi de Coach Tanko in terms of confidence, in terms of understanding the squad no wetimi dia ba. Coach Tanko baby I will be listen to this. Oh top. Intima clear football performance and form and don't feel the pressure to we really see you at the top and of course top is so ampa. Yo, Ghana Premier League na uhune sa no. A top competition but yeah niyama bi ya de ye and me fi e ba ho.
Anyi bi ne de what the boss see division 1 your boy. Na also be say ana ya fan yes3 wona am say yes3. Poly DC ye e de ne anka wa ha. It means am so no.
Ye fa de na me dia ho na etie means am so. Now let's leave it in story ni enko. Yesterday
na ma be cost stadium now for be return bi ma dey.
No ko pa uti na me tia ni segmenti.
Obi di shia cost stadium. Obi hunu akwa no se kan ku no kwa. E didn't see we a week later. Cape Coast again see Sharks another week later. Again see war a pack in the drafts. And you still want us to cry here? No, some of it time be soon say Moko board division 1 na will be the idea kubu na me say soon edimate time no say hooliganism.
Dabi yaw me lecture ko si boafo o so utimi hu sedie hu anigi a so utimi hu de wo akasa wo ye.
Are you sick in the head?
Esa say pata wa hansa.
New. O say ade no the team ni the Tamana incident we cause ni nyina no none of the teams were there. Ho United ni atwa.
The teams are some they can fans.
Beba. And ye omu nyina akọ. Enti empanifo omu di teams nanim no. Enkra e de mo omu na ne de gina mu nyina ye say ho for na eba ho no omu han supporters otuba. E come ankasa supporters no mo do mo free ho bae. Omu do mo bae na e beje sa penalty no. Ai we game no. Ana ho for na ankasa na omu ni sha say so omu toto nkunya.
Now, as I'm not starting here, I don't know. First of all, we made reference to Pole Eddie, we made reference to Dwarfs there, made reference to the other game, I can't Sharks.
3 incidents.
And then who could
democracy there, Krampus Waba?
What then true democracy about?
True democracy.
Pole 3 incidents.
Now, it's in Tokwane between Ho supporters and supporters no more tuba ho no behind
locals
no because yen tena se mamu betutu nkunya because ha ne facility a e say the league matches cry bobi ye dey e wo ho na se ne ho na house ne nations cup match no
em se ho tuba
e ho na house ne nations cup boy
and how be dreams ya
it the natives no more ne ho supporters ne na class ni nyina wo mienu ntem ba ko tutu nkunya ba ko se mempene
barakomia na wo ko stadium ko tunku
enkomo ne se ho na na se gina no o ko stadium se we truck o ko
story akunya stadium
ko ori akunya ko
wo story akunya stadium
ana ni pass interest studio azu
o se yesere na no se na nka mensa me su biem pole de yesu awie yenwie ya enka sem wie week later Cape Coast park de yanka na ma three incidents sa division 2 or division 1 am ko ball no say one aye bu obi ono so ne ho pae no eno so ma hu yenya mo debut mo ko stadium mo fa se kan hye mo ho nko se bi enkwase asem no
anima we ni ni me se eye part of
we no be catch for no say onya sponsorship man na sponsorship no o ton ade o shop
we haven't decided to change
moja o shop no ma obi ro so kwa
we haven't decided to change. We haven't
serious.
We haven't decided to change. And I don't know
what I'm talking about. Preach now. Now you na commercials no tia. So for you the body be.
Na commercials no go. Ni munya yo. Yo, so Coach Tanko really the 4 goals now shed it here dreams no manage no pa.
To me.
Now, as well as catch and say Mediama a very very supportive team. And say wa kwa koshemu a pressure be a yeah, I'm to actually no build a very formidable side and from now one family man chivu pressure so you can give no yaw e because people feel say as a coach a rich top war just as was starting you know but Crown Lions hono kakra no and a blip but with Mediama no and them things you come and I don't expect it to be as Mediama as big as Mediama but with time no obetiesi come and it should start from the 4-0 no not against any other team but the team are most informed our second round in dreams and we show more for goals
now Watara still what time na
oh coach Watara the me call but your first hat trick of the season
yeah
let me be
a player no
Steve so far your season obia share 3 goals yawe hat trick of this.
I said he defend the rule business hat trick.
Coach Watara and the money goes in the FN say mummy and wadinity.
Like on se born ready na and on here discuss na born e fe. Grass no pitch no omucha ball no time at the ball so ahodi only player no ball hat trick ni din ko be catch say and you know na whether you conducive
yes and we are no there yaw 3 p.m. na we are no there
so sorry can say 3 p.m. na kick off no ye buy na ye be ball be impress ye buy different
yeah
baba 1:31 obey warm up and now 2 p.m. obey warm up
yeah
because they started at 4
born a second so baba back and be na unya sika so nda hotel ma de enche wo ho ne sa ne ma no wo start na 4 no a obaba wi no
mo consider sa no
ma
say you born away
yeah it makes it tough each and every day but coach Watara and coach dreams tough games
a vision
a tough game Oluso has better form Oluso now has ascendancy into the top 4 very very difficult in the moment. Coach Watara, I understand the trust and confidence and but how about the fans? Do you think the fans believe in you so we to us why you